They just killed A-Train. And somehow, that's not even the craziest thing that happens in the first 2 episodes of The Boys' final season. Because what this premiere really does isn't just shock you. It quietly sets up a world where truth is dead, power is absolute, and every single character is one bad decision away from becoming the villain. Before we break it all down, here's the quick recap. Homelander tightens his control over the world using propaganda instead of brute force. Annie risks everything to expose the truth, but fails in the most terrifying way possible. The boys are captured and nearly executed, and a new weapon, a virus capable of wiping out Supes, gets introduced. A-Train sacrifices himself in a full-circle moment, Soulja Boy returns and survives something that should have killed him, and the team itself begins to fracture over how far they're willing to go. That's the surface. Now let's talk about what's really going on underneath. The opening scene tells you immediately that this season is playing a different game. Homelander walks onto that stage like a savior, smiling, confident, completely in control, and the crowd eats it up. And that's what makes it disturbing. Not because he's lying, but because it works. The world doesn't just accept him, it wants to believe him. That's your first warning sign. This isn't a story about exposing evil anymore. It's about how easily evil can be rebranded as something good. And then Annie drops the truth bomb, Flight 37, the one piece of evidence that should destroy Homelander instantly. In any normal story, that video ends everything. But here, it barely matters. Within minutes, it's labeled a deepfake. The narrative flips. The truth gets buried under hashtags, manipulated headlines, and a system that's already been primed to reject reality. That's the real horror of these episodes. Not Homelander's power, but the fact that the truth no longer has power at all. Sister Sage might be the most dangerous character introduced because she understands something no one else fully grasps. You don't need to hide the truth if you can make people doubt it. Flood the world with enough misinformation and reality itself becomes optional. And once that happens, someone like Homelander doesn't need to rule through fear alone. He can rule through belief. But here's where things get interesting. Despite everything going his way, Homelander is not stable. In fact, he's worse than ever. You can see it in the cracks, the way he reacts to the video, the way he obsesses over public perception, the way he spirals over something as small as memes.
Have you seen the memes? Have you seen the memes about me?
This isn't a man in control. This is a man trying desperately to hold on to control. And the most revealing moment comes in the prison camp with Huey. Because for the first time, Homelander isn't asking how to defeat someone, he's asking why people love them. That's a completely different kind of weakness. Huey represents something Homelander can't understand, genuine connection, loyalty that isn't based on fear. And deep down, that eats at him. Because Homelander doesn't just want to be feared, he wants to be loved. And he's starting to realize that no amount of power can force that. Meanwhile, the prison camp storyline strips everything down to its core. No powers, no advantages, just survival. But even in that environment, Huey still holds on to hope. And that contrast between Huey's humanity and Homelander's emptiness is exactly what this season is building toward. Because this isn't just a fight between strong and weak. It's a fight between people who still have something to live for and someone who doesn't. Now let's talk about Butcher, because this is where things start getting dangerous in a completely different way. His scene with his father isn't just closure, it's transformation. The way he handles it, the lack of hesitation, the brutality, it tells you everything you need to know. Butcher is not the same man anymore. He's crossing a line. And the problem is he knows it. That directly ties into the introduction of the virus, which might be the most important element of this entire season. On paper, it's simple, a weapon that can kill Supes, but in reality, it's something much bigger. It's a solution that comes with consequences so massive that no one fully understands them. Because this isn't just about killing Homelander, it's about potentially wiping out an entire group of people. And that's where the team begins to fracture. Huey and Kimiko start questioning if this is even worth it, while Annie and Frenchie are willing to take the risk if it means ending the nightmare. That divide isn't just strategic, it's moral. It's the classic dilemma. If the only way to stop a monster is to become one, do you still do it? The show doesn't give you an answer, it just shows you the cost. Then comes the rescue mission, and everything goes exactly as you'd expect in The Boys, completely off the rails. But what makes this sequence work isn't just the chaos, it's the character moments inside it. Annie stepping up, MM getting his revenge, Butcher standing face to face with Homelander again. It all builds tension in a way that feels earned. And then there's A-Train. His arc might be the most satisfying and tragic part of these episodes, from the man who caused Huey's pain in the very first episode to the one who risks everything to save him. And that callback moment, where he avoids hitting the woman this time, isn't just a detail, it's the entire point. He changed. He became better. And the show punishes him for that. That's what makes his death hit so hard. It's not just shocking, it's cruel. Because just when he finally becomes the hero he never was, he's gone. And more importantly, it shows you exactly how far gone Homelander is. This isn't about maintaining control anymore. This is about lashing out. Because Homelander doesn't handle betrayal. He eliminates it. Episode 2 takes everything and pushes it further. The funeral scene isn't about grief, it's about manipulation. Turning A-Train's death into propaganda against Starlight shows that Vaughn isn't just controlling events, they're controlling perception. And once you control perception, you control everything. Then we get Soulja Boy, and this changes the entire dynamic of the story. Because for the first time, Homelander isn't the most dominant presence in the room. He's the one seeking approval. You can see it in the way he talks to Soulja Boy, the way he tries to position himself, the way he almost acts smaller. This isn't strategy, this is emotional. Homelander doesn't just want to be feared, he wants to be a father. And that need is going to be a problem. Meanwhile, the virus test scene is where things get truly unpredictable. Watching it affect multiple Supes at once proves that it works. This isn't theoretical anymore, it's real. But then, Soulja Boy survives, and that changes everything. Because now the boys don't just have a weapon, they have an unreliable one. And that's arguably worse. If the virus can't consistently kill someone like Soulja Boy, then taking down Homelander becomes a lot more complicated. It raises questions about strength, immunity, and whether they're even on the right path. But more importantly, it pushes Butcher even further, because now he's not just desperate, he's running out of options. And when Butcher runs out of options, he becomes dangerous to everyone around him. By the end of these 2 episodes, the board is fully set. Homelander is more unstable than ever, but still firmly in control. The boys are reunited, but divided in their beliefs. The virus exists, but it's unpredictable. And characters like Ashley and Sister Sage are quietly positioning themselves, potentially waiting for the right moment to turn. Because make no mistake, betrayal is coming. What makes these episodes so effective is that they're not trying to overwhelm you with action. They're building tension. Every scene, every conversation, every decision, it's all setting up something bigger. This isn't just the beginning of the end, it's the beginning of collapse. And if there's one thing this show is making very clear, it's that there won't be a clean ending. Not for Homelander, not for Butcher, not for anyone. Because in a world where truth can be rewritten, power can't be trusted, and even heroes are willing to cross the line, there are no winners, only survivors. And if these first 2 episodes are anything to go by, survival is going to come at a cost that most of these characters aren't ready to pay.